A Week 8 matchup on tap here between the Arizona Cardinals and the Minnesota Vikings. Closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports.
Kenny now out of his end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20.
The Vikings take over first down 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down.
Well, this defense for the Cardinals, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. But coaches always say, when you create a number that high, your chances of winning probably up over 98%. I haven't seen that number quantified, but I believe them.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. And he rifles one incomplete.
I certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
So trouble already here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 9. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On 3rd down, Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. And they will score. It's a pick 6 for the Cardinals touchdown. Now Matt Prater for the point after. And the Cardinals will go up 7-0.
Makes the score Cardinals 7, Vikings 0. Matt Prater to kick off for Arizona.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
now from his end zone.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34.
Now we're going to get a stoppage here as we've got an injured Cardinal on the field.
Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
And they, of course, coming into this one in the midst of a tough losing streak. They did get helped out by the open week last week, and in talking with him, all indications were, Charles, that was a very helpful break.
Yeah, I know a lot of teams, coaches, they hate taking time off in the midst of a losing streak because they think they have to stay on their toes and punch their way out of it. But occasionally, you get that open week, you step back, evaluate what's been going wrong, see what you can put in that can move you forward. And maybe you get a chance to breathe a little bit and kind of start over.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10.
From the gun, he'll hand this off.
And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, the Vikings are 2-4 here in the first half of the year. And they come in with fresh legs. They got the extra time off thanks to an early season open week.
And usually your hope is that your open week comes a little bit later in the year. But when you get a chance to get your fresh legs back, you have to take that time and run with it. And that's what they're trying to get done here.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. He rifles one that's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick.
Partner, I think this is where long-term starters in the NFL separate themselves from the rest of the pack, because there's still 3 full quarters left in this one. More than enough time to move past a pair of early mistakes and find a way to lead your team to a win. Mental resiliency, a characteristic every NFL team's looking for in their quarterback.
They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line.
That play going nowhere thanks to Ross Blacklock.
They have 3 tight ends in that formation. That's almost a universal sign that they're planning to run the football. But how about the defense there? They met force with force and caused a stack up behind the line of scrimmage.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted.
Picked up by Lewis Seed. And the Vikings will have the football as this is taken up past the 30. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen early? I think both teams are trying to find an advantage. We know that. Can one of them break away and take control of this game?
Cousins now to throw on first down.
And that's complete to K.J. Osborne.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So into Cardinal territory now. It's 1st and 10, down at the 31. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. First down, here's the run with Cook.
He'll work his way up the middle for a gain of about 4 on second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply the offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Second down, they go right back to Cook.
And the ball is knocked out, and the Cardinals have got it, going the other way. And the return will stop right around the 25.
Well, my friend, this has certainly been... Here in the first quarter, neither side able to really hang on to the ball.
Yeah, now I'm just curious to see which team can adjust, because both have made their mistakes, as you said.
Yeah, and whoever can do that can seize firm control of this game.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble.
First down, here's Cousins. This is caught. And he's brought down.
First down and goal to go.
They'll run with Cook. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown.
Dalvin Cook with his 4th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Joseph connects on the extra point, and we are tied at 7.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They had the interception last drive, led to the tying touchdown, so 7-7 to score as they begin 1st and 10. And a good job of just fighting through one tackle there to pick up about 3. Second down coming up.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now the former fourth-round pick, it's Kalen Ballage. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Here's Murray. And complete to Zach Ertz.
Finding room at midfield.
And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. These two teams all tied after one.
With the score tied 7-7.
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. To throw, it's Murray. Out to his left.
Trying to get it to Anderson, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Lewis Cine. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 30-yard line.
That had disaster written all over. You've got a right-handed quarterback rolling left and throwing it pretty far downfield.
It's really difficult to do, to try and get your body twisted around into the proper position and get anything on the ball as you heave it downfield. And that's what it actually turned.
And the 3rd interception thrown by Cousins.
Buda Baker with a pick.
And the Cards are going to get it back here just past the 35. But their defense got him the football with an interception. They trot out there, Charles, in the very first play. They give the football right back.
Brandon, I always expect you coming like an auctioneer. We got two. Do I hear 3? Remember, it was 2 in a row. Would we hit 3 in a row? Because these offenses, they got to be a little bit more careful as they go forward. These defenders, they're locked in and really focused.
Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Well, he's had the interception woes in this one, Charles, and that time a little bold to throw it into double coverage, but he beat the double coverage.
Yeah, but I admire that he still will challenge defenders downfield, even though the ball's been in jeopardy a few times in this game. A nice ball there against multiple defenders, and they advance it downfield.
They'll drop this underneath to Pollard, and he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
They'll run here with Ballage. And he's taken down inside the 30. A gain of 10, 1st down, Arizona.
They're making it look easy out there. Another 1st down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 1st downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. It'll be a handoff to Pollard. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Brought down by DJ Wanham.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Murray going to throw. It's complete to Brown, right side. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 13-yard line. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. And here he'll get it down to the 7. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
From the 7, it's 2nd and 5.
Gonna run again here with Pollard. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Tony Pollard, his 9th touchdown of the season.
And the Cardinals have taken the lead.
And they drew up the counter there. It worked. They're glad they drew up the counter.
And a lot of times what you're trying to do is just simply get the defense moving in one direction. It doesn't take much. Even one step's enough. Get them going in one direction and then cut back against the grain and let your running back finish it off and get the work done.
Prater for the extra point. And that makes the score 14-7. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick.
This one fielded at the 5. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he'll get it across midfield and down into Cardinal territory. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
Cousins now. He'll find Thielen, work in the middle.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Cousins. That is caught by Thielen.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
This has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a receiver.
And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call.
That was J.J. Watt getting in there and getting him to the ground.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Joseph's got it.
And that will do it for this first half.
So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Cards with a lead, and they will get this football first as the second half gets started. Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, there were 3 talking points at the half, partner. All of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly hoped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
On 2nd and 11 now. Murray. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Now a give here to Pollard, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Oh, he's got a little daylight. That's a good acceleration there as he's across midfield to the 48-yard line. A Cardinal first down on a gain of 13.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Here's Pollard again. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Nice chunk of yards on first down. It really opens up your options for what you want to do on 2nd. You go right back to him, hope he explodes, or sucker the defense in before throwing over the top.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Murray. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Harrison Smith. The 20. That is a tough way to start the 3rd quarter. You get the football open to drive it down, put it in the end zone, and take the lead. Instead, they give him the football.
And I think the key here is for them to not get discouraged. That is not how they drew it up, not how they saw it in their minds. But there's a long way to go in this game. You know, they've just got to find a way to come back one play at a time. Yes, it's a cliche, but they can get it done.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. From the pistol, they run it with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter. Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now 17-14. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in this second half. Play action. Now it's Murray. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football.
It's so rare to see any quarterback toss back-to-back interceptions in the NFL, regardless of status or experience. Whether it's him personally or just the offensive game plan, I think this defense is reading something out there, and they're holding the upper hand.
Give to Cook out of the gun. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On second down, it's Cook again.
And he's brought down, but he has it down to the 12 on a pickup of 12. First and 10.
That's a love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers. They're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast.
And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings.
Dalvin Cook.
A 12-yard touchdown run. And the Vikings take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. What a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, he's got him in the lead.
Joseph connects on the extra point.
And his guys will take a 10-point lead.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. Johnson won't return this, and the football will come out to the 25.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. Had one tell me once, we were having a tough patch. This too shall pass, this too shall pass. And if I kept having a rough patch, he said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here.
That one good for 26 and a first down.
Well, normally you see 3 tight ends in a formation. You have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or 2 towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
51 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they had 3 tight ends in on that set.
And these guys are punching really well. I use boxing analogies a lot. A lot of coaches have told me that when you line up to run the football, it's 10 fistfights along the line of scrimmage, right? You've got to win your share. These 3 tight ends, they almost always win their fistfights.
And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Murray now. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jones. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run with Pollard. And a couple of yards as they move it from the 21 to the 19.
Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Throwing on 2nd and 8.
Murray swinging this out for Pollard. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. Trying to run for it with Pollard. And this is not going to be enough. Was in search of 2 yards and only got halfway there.
I bet they thought they'd pick that one up because it was a 3rd and 2 call. And they got awfully close. Now we're at 4th and inches. I wonder if they think they're feeling lucky here and maybe want to go pick it up.
They'll try and run with Balaj. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Just enough push up front. He only needed about 6 inches. He didn't get a whole lot more than that.
No, but he made sure he got enough so they didn't have to worry about measuring it or making it even close.
And he'll take this one in for the Arizona touchdown. Tony Pollard with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Cardinals have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. Extra point good by Prater. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Fielded right around the 8. And it's a pretty good return here as they get this up to the 29. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They've been rolling the last couple of drives, each inning in touchdowns. So this game is flipped. They were down, now they're up with the football. We'll see how they handle it.
Can we get a spy on the headset now between the head coach and offensive coordinator? They've been in attack mode, had to get back into the game. Now they have the lead. Do you stay on the attack, or do you dial it back a little bit to try and protect this lead?
Well, my cop-out answer would be somewhere in the middle. I think it's going to be a fine line, is it not?
I think you're exactly right, but I do think if they can stay aggressive and keep them on their heels, they'll be best served that way.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And some room to roam now. Touchdown, Vikings! And you talk about the dominating rushing performances that you and I have seen together. This has got to be right up there. His 4th touchdown run of the game and another long one to boot.
And I don't need to ask for a witness because you're right here with me. We are watching this, and we're watching such a performance that is demoralizing for anyone on defense. You know, it starts out coaches screaming, tackle him, get it. And after that last touchdown, I'll bet it's pure silence on that side of the ball.
Out of the end zone comes Johnson. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Well, that last touchdown we just saw, what an important one. Now it's back to a 2-score deficit for this crew as they take the field here, and they are in desperate need of finding the end zone. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Murray, he's going to air one out for Anderson. This is caught at the 20. Touchdown. Robbie Anderson, 84 yards. And the Cards have got it back to within a score. Now Prater to add the PAT. And the lead is down to a field goal now.
Makes the score Vikings 31, Cardinals 28. Matt Prater to kick off.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Taken from about the 12. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. After the touchdown we just saw, we have a brand new ball game. And now look at the situation. You've got plenty of time on the clock. Defensively, they have 3 timeouts. So do you run the football here or do you throw it?
I think you have that full conversation with your offensive unit. And you tell them, here's the situation. They've got all their timeouts, so we are not going to play this conservatively. We've got to attack them. We've got to make them use those, gain the ground that we need in order to put this game away. If you think we're just going to run it 3 times and punt it, you got another thing coming.
Yeah, and by the way, also the 2-minute warning in play, so essentially 4 timeouts left.
They have to be aggressive here.
They'll try and wind down some clock with Cook. And he is going to lose yardage here. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
Here we go.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
They go back to Pollard on 2nd down. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher. 3rd and 6.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Back to throw. Murray. And that's intercepted yet again, and that could be the backbreaker. Picked up by the linebacker, Jordan Hicks. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. We're part of this defense now with multiple interceptions in this game, but this time they say turnabout is fair play because, remember, they had a pick 6 on the other side, and now they get a pick 6 of their own.
Yeah, they actually added to some of their nice play throughout this ball game. A good effort by them to secure another interception on this one. A better effort to take it all the way back for 6. And how about an exceptional effort to match their opposition's pick 6 from earlier in this game?
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Out of the end zone comes Johnson. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. There he goes, right side. He's at the 30. 10. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Arizona. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, you get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
To kick off for Arizona.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff.
Taken from about the 12.
And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this game not quite in hand yet. We'll likely see all 3 timeouts defensively and then reassess where we are. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 1:06 left to go in the game.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive game. Just keep that clock ticking.
So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
Here's Cook again.
And he's going to have to protect the football and take his lumps here at this stage of the game as they stop him behind the line.
Taken down back at the 23-yard line.
The Cards going nickel. An extra defensive back out there now on 3rd down. And the slot man goes in motion left.
Cousins to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10.
At their own 38-yard line.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Now Murray. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Murray to throw. Escaping the pressure right.
Murray has it knocked loose. Fumble.
And the offense will get this one back. Boy, that could have been catastrophic at this late stage of the game, but they avoid disaster. And with just inside of 10 seconds to go, they'll burn their final timeout. 9 seconds left. Now Murray's got to have this one. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. Cousins just going to take this one down to a knee and end it. Somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You have to make wholesale changes. Just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So for Minnesota, they fall a game under 500 now at 3 up and 4 down.
And they will hit the road next week to take on Washington.
Meanwhile, for Arizona, they'll fall to 5 and 3 with a loss. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Seattle Seahawks.